All right, so welcome back to I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, and for this particular episode, Milf and Cookies has made a recommendation, and she'd like to call this Bacon Bites, with with a Y instead of an I and whatnot in the bites part. It's a nice harkening. I guess you could say it's a nice harkening to Darksydephil. It's kind of fitting. So big ups to Milf and Cookies, and yet again, welcome to Bacon Bites. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear, or we are here, I'm sorry, with part 2 of our coverage of DSP's Nuke or nuclear stream or whatever. In this particular episode, we're going to go ahead and go over the essential mushroom cloud effect of this situation, no pun intended there, and whatnot. And we're going to hear LTG's response, or we're going to talk a little bit about it, I should say. And Wings too. Wings toward the end of that, or the end of this part, I should say, also decided to speak on it. And he didn't really say anything that hasn't been said already, but we'll get there when we get there. In any case, let's see here. So where we last left off, I'm sorry. DSP goes ahead and drops the nuke, trying to jump into this reaction situation of LTG reacting to a Breaking Banquet video. He basically bashes Dale while also trying to appeal to him, or at least show to be his equal, while trying to defend Wings while shitting on Wings as well. It was poorly thought out. It was a piece of shit react, to be honest with you, and it served no purpose but to make him seem even more unhinged, to be honest. And in reality, I think it made him look vulnerable, wounded, to be honest with you. It made him look wounded. Coming off of the Kino Casino situation, in his 8-month stint with them, and then less than a month off of the Kino Casino stimulus package, which was about 8 months. And then the Asmongold stimulus package, which truth be told, only lasted for like maybe 3 weeks. I wouldn't even give it the respect of a full month. It probably lasted only a couple of weeks. A few weeks, I'm sorry. And then that was that. He's wounded. He's wounded and he's vulnerable. And DSP does what he normally does, throw money at the problem and hope that it covers up for his insecurities, his inabilities, and his ineptitude. And that's really all it was. That's all what the Kino Casino situation was. He took the money that he gained from that and threw it at his set, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, to try to make it seem like he was as good as Kino Casino. And then he tried to do he did literally the exact same thing with Asmongold. He went ahead and copied what little bit Asmongold had, which is really minimalistic when you think about it. And he tried to give them the souped up version of it and be like, hey, if you guys love Asmongold so much with his little minimal or even Spartic setup, look at me. Look at all the bells and whistles I have and shit. Look at all the gadgets, and look at how I have to move my monitor around and all this bullshit. How can you guys not love me if you guys love that? What DSP has never learned is personalities carry the day. Charisma carries the day. Not games, not peripherals, not flashing lights, not keys that you're basically, taunting your cat with or your child with. It requires a bit more. And he's slowly but surely starting to learn that. But he's also very aware that he doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Kino Casino and their set, it's a theme, right? Everything that they do is themed, right? It's supposed to fit into what their narrative is. There's a purpose, there's a thought process behind it. Asmon just goes ahead and runs shit the way he wants it. Turns on his computers, turns on his monitors, turns on Reddit, Twitter, and talk. And then they eventually get into a game. You could say the same thing for LTG, as much as I don't want to give that dude any credit and whatnot. Go and take care of your kid, Dale. I mean, same thing. He can just turn it on and he can just make shit happen. DSP doesn't have any of that. You take DSP's detractors, trolls, haters, and critics away, he's got nothing. He's legitimately got nothing. I know, on good authority, and I'm sure most detractors do who've been around long enough, if some of DSP's detractors disappeared, some of DSP's quote-unquote supporters disappeared too. There are this is a war with multiple skirmishes, or battles, I should say, but skirmishes sounds about right. Happening on multiple fronts. Skirmishes, let's use that. on multiple fronts and shit. It's bigger than just DSP, and he's slowly but surely realizing that's the case. So he needed to do something to gather people's attention, on top of coming off of the 5-hour Kino Casino react. Big ups. I got a chance to watch it. It was funny. It was amusing stuff. And then big ups to everybody who sent me the marked 1 phone call. I had a chance to listen to that. I don't know how I necessarily feel about it. I don't feel anything about it. I don't need to feel anything about it. But I not so much the phone call itself. Let me be very clear about this. I don't feel any which way about marked 1 doing this or not. He took his, he shot his shot. It is what it is, and whatnot. Can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. As it pertains to Linda, mainly Linda and her conditioning, or her condition, I should say. That's the thing that I don't know how to feel about that, because she doesn't sound, she don't sound good at all. And another thing that surprised me is the fact that she said Dave is not there that night, or she wasn't going to be there tonight, and whatever. And it's like, I mean, we have a pretty good idea of what Dave does. That requires him to stay away from the home overnight, and especially given her condition. So is my theory correct that they are separated, and they've probably been separated for a while, and they don't actually live there, and he just occasionally, shows up to see how she's doing or whatever? Because she said it very casually, in a way that makes me surmise that they may be separated, which might explain why DSP is quick to run to his mother for financial help instead of going to his father, because his mother's always there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I'll take you guys down later. But big ups to all that. Like I said, hearing her on that call, yeah, I don't know really how to feel about that. But, realistic, I don't have to feel any way about anything. But it is what it is. So, at least Linda's funeral coin has been taken off the market. So we don't have to worry about that now. But she don't sound like she has too much time left, to be honest. She don't sound like she has too much time left. It almost sounded like it hurt to talk, to be honest. But anyway, so there's that. I think DSP, like I told you guys in the first video, he's trying to wrestle for control, given the Kino Casino thing, the phone call with his mother, and he needed something that he thought was impactful. My theory is he was trying to distract people, to be honest. This whole thing about, I don't see it to be anything more than that. Will he twist that into something else? Sure, we'll see. But I don't see it for anything more than what it was, as a distraction, a way of lashing out, because he himself, as I said in my first video, couldn't lash out at the people that he was really mad at. He can't lash out at Kino Casino. He doesn't have any allies. Can't lash out at Mark 1, because then he's going to encourage other people to try to do the same. So what do? You try to beat up on LTG, even though that was unsuccessful, and you use Wings as basically collateral damage. Use him as the catalyst, and then eventually turn him into collateral damage. Try to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Get LTG to finally acknowledge him on some senpai shit, and maybe he can get him to talk to him, while also getting Wings back in pocket and say, hey, Wings, you're not with LolCow anymore. You need me. I'm the only one who's standing up for you. Keem ain't out here. Boogie ain't out here. Rastov ain't out here. I'm here. So that's my thoughts on that. As for the LTG response, which was 1/4 of DSP's fucking absolute mental gymnastics mind fucked, or self-induced mind fuck, he cut to the quick. He literally cut straight down to the fucking pork chops and shit. You ain't about shit. You've never been about shit. You'll never be about shit, and I don't need to worry about you. You know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and let you entertain me for the moment and give you a quick react, but other than that, you're not saying shit that means anything about anything. You're 2 separate people in 2 separate stages of life. Not to say that either one of you have accomplished much of anything, to be honest, but especially given your current stations in life. But you guys are not alike, to be honest with you. And I do think between the 2 of them, LTG has the better prospects. I think they're both equally pieces of shit. Holy fuck, they're both pieces of garbage. Especially Dale. If he had all that debt but didn't have the child, then that'd have been one thing. If he had all that debt and lying about his age, but was at least taking care of that child through the monthly child support, that would be one thing. You got all this debt, You got back child support, right? 3,000-4,000, whatever the amount is and shit. You know what I'm saying? The denial of your age and whatever. You know what I'm saying? The modeling thing or the acting thing isn't working over there in Cali, man. You should take your ass to Atlanta. You have a better chance of getting on television there than what you're doing over there. So anyway, that's what the situation is with that. LTG cut him down. Easy, to be honest with you. He did that shit light work. It was nothing about nothing. And there's a bunch of different people who have it. At the time I recorded, LG didn't have it yet, but now he does. He has his rendition up. Red Dale's not back yet. Chicken Legs has his. LTG actually put it up on his own channel, smart work, and whatnot, as an individual video. That was smart. Let's see here. Low Tier Dexter has theirs. Low Tier Treats has theirs. I'm pretty sure most LTG trolls has some rendition of it on their channel. Yet again, the degrees of separation between the two of them, as minuscule as it is very apparent. And he took DSP to task, and he did it easy. It was light work. It was light work. It was nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was absolutely nothing. So calling him Burt Reynolds, calling him a squeegee, I mean, all things apply. And at the end of the day, you gave LTG a fucking easy layup that he wasn't even asking for. He probably didn't even really want. But since it was there, he took advantage of it. And yet again, this goes back, ladies and gentlemen, to what I said about this shit being bait. Now, I'm going to throw in some segments of that and whatnot in here, and shit, I'll edit a couple pieces in or whatnot to kind of to serve the story up. But this was incredibly ill-advised. Incredibly. Like DSP sound unhinged, and he kind of made LTG sound practical, or at least pragmatic. You know what I'm saying? At the very least, DSP made an absolute utter fool of himself, and LTG just went ahead and piled on him and made it super easy, and and even at the end of it, you could tell he was really not interested. He was disinterested, if you will. You know what I'm saying? He kind of did it because it was expected. He gave a response because it was expected him to do so. But even then, I would say he did it in his own way, and he did it his way. So at the end of the day, DSP gained nothing from this. Nothing. Because DSP is a coward, and he wouldn't sit there and engage in what the actual problem was. Kino Casino and the Marked One. Those are the people that you have an issue, you have a problem with. Go at them. You know what I'm saying? Go at them. And then, shit, let's just go ahead and move over to the Wing situation. Let's move to the Wing situation. Wings basically called out what we already knew. DSP is comfortable treating people the way he treats them because he's waiting for the big payday at the end of it, and that's basically Linda and Dave passing. And given how Linda sounds, and I don't wish this on her, obviously, but given how Linda sounds, she don't sound great. She don't sound great. And if Dave is out, if Dave is leaving the house overnight, or at least that's how it sounded to me, it makes me think that, you know what I'm saying, he's still in decent health. You know what I'm saying? He's still making moves. So it is what it is on that. But anyway, Wing said that, hey, he's just waiting for the big payday. And so he's going to treat people any which way he sees fit because he feels like he's in a position that he has to, or that he can, I should say. Here's the thing that Wings isn't saying. What happens after that? What happens after DSP loses his weekly stipend? What happens after he goes ahead and gets cut the check, after minus Melissa's part of it, or her half of it, I should say? And then what? What happens when that's not enough to cover the remainder of his mortgage? What happens when that's not enough to, or it's just enough to go ahead and do the repairs on the house so he can refinance, and then he blows all the refinancing money, and then he's stuck in a house that he'll never be able to pay off at that point? Well, my theory is, and I've told you guys this before, he has no intention of paying that house off. He plans to die in that house. He plans to die in that house. He has no intention of ever paying that damn thing off. And that now, that, ladies and gentlemen, that leads us to Kat. So what happens there? Is he betting on Kat passing away before him? If so, does he have insurance on her? If he does, how much insurance does he have on her? He clearly has no DSP clearly has no motivation to see her get in shape. He's only cares about himself, right? And he seems to be only motivated by himself, for himself, if you will. So what are we doing about Kat? Are we gonna just let her vegetate and then she eventually just has a heart attack or some shit, or a stroke, or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that takes her out? If so, how is he gonna cover the medical bills, the medical expenses? If she does die on him, God forbid, if she does pass away on him, how is he gonna have the money to bury her? Does he have the money to ship her body back to her family if they even want her back? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many problems in just waiting on fucking shit. There's just so many problems in just waiting on Kat to pass away. What are we gonna do after that? You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, give me a moment and I'll actually bring up the Wings part of it and whatnot. I'll clip it in individually too, I think. We'll see. But I'll definitely, let's do a quick react to it and you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm back. I can actually go the extra mile and do one better. So I actually have the entire Wing segment when he's brought up to speed. Now this segment, the part I'm looking for is about 10 minutes in. Might skip around a little bit, and I'll give you guys I'll give you guys a bit of what Wings thought. It's kind of ironic actually how Wings took it, but it makes sense in context. So give me a second. Well, let's go ahead, let's cut our music and let's bring this up. Let's go full screen for it, fuck it. All right. Actually, we don't even need to do that.
No soda. I'm trying my best to stay away from sugar.
Yeah, good luck with that.
What's up, pimp?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah.
I wish my voice would come back.
I feel you. Also, you're on the wrong mic.
All right, let's do that.
So what did all this DSP shit go on? What is this? Feel me?
All right, so this is one of the mods, and one of well, I think he's a mod, but he's one of the dudes that Wings plays with. He's gonna basically catch Wings up on what what happened on this nonsense podcast and shit. Fucking DSP's nonsense podcast or whatever. We probably need this amount, so let me clip that and then clip this, and the rest of it I'll use later. I only really need this first like 10 minutes. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Look, I'll accept your apology right now.
I haven't heard any of it. Look, what is it? What is this DSP mess?
So he was originally scheduled to play Arc Raiders today, and then he canceled the stream because Arc Raiders didn't make the goal last time. So then he went to play, or then he saw, I guess last night, that the LTG video.
Also, just for the record, Wings can never say he doesn't really know what's going on with Phil because one, Wings watches troll channels. He's admitted this. Boogie does too, and whatnot. And also, Wings' mods and some of the guys he games with watch Detractor content too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're big fans of Raw Phil. Big ups to Raw Phil. So you know what I'm saying? Wings is in the know. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. And then Wings is on Reddit. So I know he's over there in the DSP Reddit at least once a day, at the very least. So Wings is in the know, trust me. Just like how DSP tries to act like he don't know nothing, but apparently he knows everything. Wings knows, or he's at least aware.
Of reacting to Breaking Banquet. So then I guess he watched that and was like, hey, you know, since Arc Raiders isn't doing well, I'm going to watch this LTG video reacting to Breaking Banquet on stream.
I honestly still think, though, that the reason why he ducked Arc Raiders is because he just doesn't want to, he doesn't see the benefit of playing with Repsion, to be honest with you. And I think he may be slightly annoyed that Repsion wants to keep playing with him. And also jealousy. DSP doesn't like the fact that there's somebody else on his stream that's more knowledgeable, more capable. Let's say that. More capable than him. It bothers him. You can tell it physically bothers him. Even though he's saying, "Oh, I need to learn, but I don't want to get carried." DSP has never wanted to be outshined on his own stream, so which happens quite a bit. So I think that's another reason too.
And he did that.
And that's it. He just talks some shit. That
It was mainly about he talked shit about LTG, and then he gave some like weird commentary on how everyone in your life is an enabler.
Yep. Yep.
He said your wife is an enabler. He said the people you play games with are your enablers. Your stream viewers are enablers.
but what are they enabling me to do?
Oh yeah, Wings is still ducking those allegations for the 25 grand, which I honestly think that okay, I do honestly think that he got the surgery and he failed, honestly. But I think he got the surgery. I just think the surgery didn't cost as much as he said it did. Now, just for context, Wings said that he needed $25,000 to do the surgery. Initially, he was going to do the surgery in the United States. The problem is with that was his doctor, I think he went to 2, but I know his initial doctor was like, okay, we need you to lose weight to, make sure you're in a better spot so you can get the surgery. Well, what most people know if you watch like fucking videos or shows about weight loss or whatever is that if you can get a person to lose weight leading up to the surgery and they're doing it in a healthy manner but in a progressive manner, then usually doctors will just have them keep doing it so they can avoid surgery altogether. Wings can't stick to nothing. And so it didn't matter what his doctor or what a second opinion or a third opinion or whatever was ever going to tell him. He wasn't willing to lose the weight. That's why he went to Mexico. So he goes out there, he gets the surgery. It doesn't cost nearly as much as he says he does. He comes back and he pockets the rest. Now, according to Wings' official story, he said the surgery was somewhere between 12 and 15 grand. And then the rest of the money he used to pay for taxes because he had to pay taxes on that 12,000. Or on the whole 25,000, according to him. Most of us think that he just pocketed the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, was Ozempic and stuff like that available back at that time? Yeah, I don't think it was as popular. Well, I don't know if there was. Well, actually, hold on a second. Let me actually ask. Let me check about that. Okay, we're back. So between the years of 2016 and 2017. December of 2016, Ozempic was being filed or had filed a new drug application with the FDA, but it wasn't finally approved until December 5th of 2017, and that was for people who have type 2 diabetes. So it wasn't widely known around the time that Wings got the surgery. Now, I would have to go back and find out exactly when he did that, because I want to tell you he got that surgery back in 2000. I want to say he got it in like late 2016, early 2017. Now I think about it. When he had that crash out. Now I think about it. Here, give me a second. Okay, and I'm back on my Inspector Gadget shit. Okay, so according to what I have here, Wings begged for $25,000 to get the surgery. Let's see here. Said U.S. doctors required him to lose a certain amount of weight before he would be accepted, while a doctor in Mexico said no. He opted to go and do it in Mexico. That happened June 25th of 2018. So Ozempic was available at that time. I don't know if Wings has type 2 diabetes, but the surgery was available, Ozempic was available for type 2 diabetics at the end of 2017. So 2018, it would have been available to him. So excuse me. So it says right here that he got the surgery at or around June 25th of 2018, which cost only $8,000, it turned out. And then he pocketed the rest, but he said he needed it for surgery. Let's see, a few minutes after surgery. Let's see, he has something with his incision. And October 25th of 2018. And he said he was hitting the gym in October of 25th. Let's see. And then he started making excuses, and then that's when everything went downhill from there. Okay, bet. Okay, so according to what I'm reading here, this is from the PKA Reddit, by the way. It says right here he got the surgery June 25th of 2018. And like I said, Ozempic was available to people who had type 2 diabetes and in December 5th of 2017, but its commercial launch and widespread availability of the drug was made available early 2018. Holy shit, this is a whole nother rabbit hole we need to go under then, or go into. So theoretically, he could have had this. Boy, I got questions now. Now that opens up a whole new fucking can of worms when you think about it. Because if he didn't get the surgery until June of 2018, Ozempic was already readily available. And he would have had the money. He would have already had the 25 grand needed to cover that. But I still think he got the surgery. But then, I mean, all right, I don't know. I just want to throw the timeline at you. I will ponder this more later. That opens up a whole new can of worms, if you ask me. All right, so there we go on that.
So your wife enables you to eat. He says the fact that, like Goat brought up the other day, that LTG reacted to the Breakman Banquet video. He says your teammates enable you to I guess engage in like drama talk. I honestly had no idea what he meant by that. I think he was just mad at the fact that Goat had brought up about like, oh, what do you think about DSP? DSP's a piece of shit. I think maybe it was me. And then he was like, oh, well, see, you have teammates who are constantly trying to bring you into the negative and make unnecessary drama.
I mean,
he's just mad because
he's kind of right. I mean, since I've got on, I've heard everything about this React video and this LTG mess.
Well, it's a huge thing.
Well, not only that, it's an opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? DSP says he can give his opinion when people bring up drama to him. But Wings can't do it when his mods or the people he games with does it with him. Seems a bit hypocritical if you ask me.
It's not huge. It's not. See, here's the way I see it. Me personally, I look at it as people trying to put a division between people to get a war for their own entertainment.
I mean, remember, DSP was the one who dropped the nuke, so theoretically, he was the one who started the war. If you want to call it that, Wings. I don't think... Hey, that would make a good soundbite. So it is what it is. I'm working on my soundboard this year. So it is what... Don't worry. It won't be that fucking Review Tech USA shit. Lord knows we need any more of that bullshit. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it this year. Holy shit. Got a bunch of nice little memeable stuff in there.
I've heard everything about this React video and this LTG mess.
Well, it's a huge thing.
It's not huge. It's not. See, here's the way I see it. Me personally, I look at it as people trying to put a division between people to get a war for their own entertainment.
But if he's
yeah, it's DSP though. He's the one who's trying to start the war, and people like you are just kind of like the catalyst, and eventually you'd be collateral damage.
Pouring gas on the fire. Is he not part of that?
I can't control what Phil or fucking LowTierGod does, right?
So wait, so it's everybody else's fault? None of, you know what I'm saying? It's all our fault? Our fault. You know what I'm saying? On some almighty Tevin shit. Big ups. Our fault. So wait a second. So it's our fault that DSP went ahead and started, basically pressed the red button or whatever the fuck to start all this bullshit off. And we're also the problem because we're spreading it around, we're commenting on it, we're talking about it, and partially we're fighting back. Now, one can make the argument, hey, Golden, aren't you being a hypocrite? Because you said this thing with Kino Casino, you said the thing with that other detractor, and that's what he was distracting from, so on and so forth. DSP could have been more direct and handled it directly. He chose not to do that. He chose to do this bullshit. And according to Wings, This is a war that's being started for entertainment. No one prompted DSP to do this shit. He chose to. I'm just saying.
Can't control them. I can't control myself though. And I choose.
If that was the case, I mean, we wouldn't be where we're at now, Wings. What are you, almost at 500 pounds, bro? If you could really control yourself, we wouldn't be where you're at.
Choose not to partake in that.
But it's so funny because DSP is always like, I don't engage in drama. I just want to have a chill, positive, fun gaming experience. He literally said a couple weeks ago that people who
Jesus Christ, Wayne's get a toothpick or something. Shit.
Engage in drama or watch drama content or make drama content are homosexuals, and that it's
let's not
he
use
said
slurs.
this.
I don't care. Don't use slurs on my stream.
That's not a slur. If he had said faggot, then I can understand why you'd be mad at that shit. But he didn't say that, and he definitely didn't use it in that context. He said homosexual. Jesus, Wayne, you're a fucking retard.
I didn't use a slur, but he said that like
You
people
just use
who
the,
do
you
that.
just use the slur against somebody's sexuality.
It's not. That's literally that's a scientific name.
Okay.
Anyways, he said that people who do that are in that
Jesus
group.
Christ.
Yet here he is doing a 4-hour stream today, fanning the flames on drama content. And then, like I said, all the time he's like, "Oh, I'm not Mr. Drama. I don't engage in drama." Blah blah blah. And then and then he was like at the end.
Are you like my thing is, is your goal just to like hold Phil's feet to the fire for being a little bit of a hypocrite?
A little bit of a hypocrite. See, and it's weird. It's really weird how Wings defends him. It's really, really strange. Like, it's fucking bizarre because it's very clear that Wings don't want nothing to do with him, right? Not really, if you will. But it's also clear that like he clearly pities Phil. You know what I'm saying? Like, he him. You know, he doesn't think. I don't believe him when he says he thinks DSP is a good gamer, or he's a good person, or he has the potential of being a good person. Fuck all that. He pities him. I just don't understand why. Because he don't pity you. Because he goes out of his way to try to figure out ways to manipulate you and take advantage of you. Like, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, Wings is nothing more than a political football for DSP to use against Keem. That's all he is. That's all he is. He's nothing more than that. And I know Wings knows that, but I don't know. Whatever.
100%. It's disingenuous. Like he's
Everybody's
a disingenuous guy.
Nobody's perfect, man. Everybody's disingenuous.
Well, yeah, people are people, but I mean, you shouldn't strive to be perfect anyway, because once you become perfect, then what? Where else can you grow? That's why that whole concept of being perfect is fucking stupid, but whatever. That's just me.
I mean, he's on a different level.
Maybe, right? Like, I will say this: he's more of a if I had to pick a narcissist, I would say he's ahead of Keemstar.
Wow. I don't know if it gets much worse than Keemstar.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go that far, because Keem will use his time, money, and resources to crush people for his own amusement. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck getting the money back on it just to do it. And Keem's always been like that. I don't know if I could. DSP ain't willing to throw money at people to fucking humiliate him. I mean, he was willing to throw money at Wings, which was surprising, by the way. Very surprising. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I can put DSP's narcissism over fucking Keem. I don't even know if I can put DSP's ego over Keem, to be honest. Keem's a different type of animal. He really is. He's a different type of animal.
No. Like, Dan has charitable qualities about him.
Allegedly.
He cares about his friends.
As long as his friends are doing stuff for him.
He cares about people.
As long as those people are doing something for him.
He will give money to people out of the kindness of his heart.
No, he will buy people so they're in his pockets later. Jesus Christ, Wings. You yourself, Wings himself said this shit like a decade ago. So I don't know why he's strayed away from that. And history has proven it.
Phil's
never done that.
Phil don't do any of that, right? Like, Keemstar.
And actually, now I think about it. Ask Keem about that guy, that the RuneScape guy. How he accused him of being a pedophile and shit, and how he tried to pay him off. Ask him about that. Ask him about that. Ask him about the allegations that Keemstar may have tried to pay money to Etika and Etika's mother and Etika's girlfriend at the time and whatnot to try to side with him, that it wasn't his fault. Ask him about those allegations and whatnot. Do you think, did he do that out of the fucking kindness of his heart and shit? Did he really do it under those situations? Like, you know what I'm saying? You try to offer that old man, I hate to say this, I mean, he was an old man at that time, but you try to offer him what, 5 grand, 7 grand, 10 grand, whatever it was, because the number kept changing. You try to offer him, you know, that money as compensation so he wouldn't talk about it anymore after you had already damn near had that guy exiled from the community that he was in. Most of the guy's friends turned against him and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you literally fucked that guy's life. That was life ruination. Well, Wings, yeah. But that was life ruination, Keem. You can't walk away from that. And then the etiquette thing, well, you make of that what you will. I'll let you all decide on what you think about that etiquette situation. That's beyond life ruination if you want to hold Keem responsible for it. Keem fucked around and found out with that etiquette situation. That's what it was. He realized that, hey, you can't just spit stupid shit to mentally ill people and not expect them to act upon it. And then allegedly Keem tried to pay money off to basically silence shit and try to get people on his side to quiet the whole thing down later. That seems strange. That didn't seem very charitable. Keem doesn't throw money at people without buying something. When he gives you money, he's buying something with his money. He's investing in something. He doesn't give money out for charity. That's not a thing.
Is a little bit of a narcissist, but Phil eclipses him on that level.
I don't even think narcissism is Phil's biggest, like...
It is.
Well, maybe.
It's not. I don't believe so. I don't believe narcissism is fucking DSP's biggest pet peeve or whatever. It's not. He's got so many other problems that eclipses that, if you ask me.
It is. Like, if he didn't believe he was better than other people, people would like him more.
No, he would still be hated. He'd still be hated. Because DSP doesn't have any amiable or even charitable qualities. There's nothing about DSP as a person that remotely makes him a redeemable person. I'm not even talking about even a decent person or a good person. He's long expired those situations. There's nothing that makes him even redeemable. Nothing. There's nothing about him that could even remotely make him a likable person and whatnot. You might find amusement from him, or you may take amusement from him, but that doesn't make him a good person. So no, not at all. Not at all. That would just make him more tolerable. And that's ANC because fucking Wings is a piece of shit. He don't know the difference. If DSP wasn't so much of a narc, he might be more tolerable. He may even be more palatable, but that wouldn't make him likable.
That's one of my main qualities, right? Like, I'm a narcissist.
No, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking retard. That's what it is. You're the result of corn-pone country pussy, and you went sat there and spent way too much time on Reddit and whatnot, and you haven't really. You had all your time online. You didn't learn anything, despite the fact that you were literally raised on the internet. You didn't learn anything at all. You went sat there and spent the majority of your adult life, if not your whole adult life, paying for your mother's love, and you still don't have it. His mother drained his ass dry, and when he realized that he was never going to get the approval from her, he went ahead and found a bunch of other heavy-setted bitches on the internet and tried to get love from them, and even try to play Captain Save-A-Ho and whatnot and try to raise their kids. And what happened? As soon as money slowed up, as soon as he started to get a little too bitchy, a little too complainy, they picked up and left. He's a product of the internet, of his part of the internet, I should say. There's no reason why he's not eating or getting, he shouldn't have residuals from PKA, and he shouldn't be eating well just off that. But because he don't have no goddamn business sense, and because Woody put his ass into a trap and he didn't see it, he literally walked away with nothing. And what's his response when a PKA comes up? Oh, well, I'll go back over there if they give me 10K, which they're never going to give him because they don't need him. They outgrew him, basically. It'd be a novelty to have him over there, but they'll never take him back. And that's one of the things that Wings is mad about. Sucks to suck.
Which I am. And like
he's not a narcissist though. He's just an idiot. He's just an idiot, to be honest with you.
The reason people hate me is how condescending I talk to everyone.
Nah, people hate you for way more than that. But the way he treats people doesn't necessarily make him narcissistic, or at least not in the way he thinks and whatnot. He treats people poorly because he doesn't believe that anybody can do anything to him in retaliation. That's really what it comes down to. Pressing Wings in IRL is like pressing Review Tech USA in IRL. All that heavy shit, all that barking they like to do, you run up on them and watch how quickly that shit shuts the fuck up. And more than likely, they're women, meaning Lauren or Kelly would have to step in on their behalf if shit got crazy. Because the two of them have straight up bitch in their blood, especially Wings. So neither one of them are going to stand on business when the time comes. Hell, if Wings had a gun in his hand, I still don't think he'd about that action. So, no.
I could just change the cadence in my voice when I talk to people. And like, let me give an example. I'm going to use Spaceman as an example here. Spaceman, you need to revive more. Or, Spaceman, do you know that your class has the ability to revive faster?
I do, yeah.
Both of those sound kind of.
I was reviving all last night.
They both sound bad, dude.
Yeah.
They both sound like shit. And here's the funny part: the revive part, right? Excuse me. The revive part stems from the fact that fucking Wings makes bad decisions, right? So he put himself in a position that made him vulnerable, that got his ass compromised, and now one of his teammates has to break sequence to go and drag his ass back up. Whose fault is it really? So is it really what he said or how he said it, or the position he put other people in and how he reacted to it? Don't worry, I'll wait.
You could just be like, hey, Spaceman,
look,
you mind reviving our teammates when you can?
Here's what I need to hear.
Spaceman,
Sure I said you were too hard on Phil yesterday. I was wrong. I'm sorry. He just talked shit about me for 5 hours.
Richard Creamy, thank you for the 10 pounds.
And here's the thing too, right? Most people would say, out of DSP or Wings, that Wings seems more likable. And that might be true. I don't know. The Wings of Redemption that I remember from his Call of Duty days, he's dead. He's dead and gone. So I ain't made peace with that and let that guy go a long time ago. As for the Jordan, who's in front of you now, I don't know if that's the case. I just think he's pathetic enough that people will tolerate his bullshit. And you can say that for most of his trolls, because most of his trolls were former fans until their tolerance level got to the point where they were like, hey, you're not going to treat us like garbage. You're not going to talk to me any type of way because you're having a fucking bad day. Fuck you. And that's essentially what caused a lot of the rifts and then eventually the breaks or whatnot. I think that Wings would put himself in a position where he'd be far more willing to talk to people than DSP. He can be more sociable than Darksydephil. But I don't know. It's hard to say if I would say if he's any more likable, because he's just as much of a piece of shit as DSP is. It's just, I guess it's really all in how you look at it. All right, we're back.
Man.
I mean, and then at the end of all the stream, he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm not creating this. I created this content to let the trolls eat." Like he said, he created it. He did the drama stream so that his trolls, your trolls, and LTG's trolls could eat.
That's fine. I mean, like, they're basically our lifeblood right now.
Well, they've been your lifeblood for a long time. But I respect the fact that Wings at least admitted it.
But isn't this the guy who told you? He was like, Jordy, you engage your trolls too much. You don't never interact with your trolls. And then here's a man who just did a 4-hour stream that says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I just did stream for all the trolls out there." It's like, is that not disingenuous as fuck?
It's disingenuous, but it comes from a place of desperation. You understand? Like, Phil has to do 4 hours how much does? How often does he stream? 3 hours twice a day, 6 hours of content a day.
It's 2 hours. It's 1 4-hour stream and 1 2-hour stream.
No, it's a 5-hour stream. 2 to
Still
7.
4-hour stream.
5 to 6 hours. Let's not get into semantics. But he's got 5 hours of content he's got to fill every day of his life.
I don't know. According to DSP, it's a 12-hour day, but whatever.
And like
He
sometimes
has off days too.
and sometimes that's
He
just
doesn't
hard.
work 7 days a week.
Why do you think I play this shit all the
Hard.
time?
He said he's. What's hard about playing video games all day?
Nothing. Nothing. What's hard for DSP is his interesting ability or inability to learn new things, to be honest. And that he can't shift between games the way he makes it sound like. Like he calls himself a variety streamer, but as he jumps from game to game to game, ironically enough, he plays all of them damn near the exact same way. Keep trying to drive his oddly shaped head through a wall until he breaks through. He doesn't really learn anything. Or if he does, he picks up on just enough to get by. He doesn't actually really learn anything. He looks at gaming as a chore. It's not something that he wants to do. I argue to say it was something he never wanted to do. If he could have done what Max did and just talk about fighting games all day, and if the fighting game community was willing to embrace him, like Roofermonger, like Button Check, like holy shit, like any of those guys from the FGC and shit, if he could just sit around and just talk about and just do FGC content all day, he would. I think DSP would legitimately would. But he can't. He can't. That's the reason why he went into quote unquote variety content back in the day. Once he got ousted out of the FGC, he needed to do something else. And then even then, when he was quote unquote finding success in the on YouTube, he still was basically desperate for the approval and recognition of the FGC. I still think he does that now. That's why he lashes out the way he does. He doesn't really mean it. He's just hoping that he can get someone to be dragged in to talk to him. I think that's really all he wants. He just wants someone to talk to him, and he doesn't know how to talk to people anymore. So he lashes out and whatnot in the hopes. It's like your newborn baby crying, right? He hopes that if he does it loud enough and long enough, that someone will pick his ass up. I mean, that's what he did with fucking Asmongold.
Well,
With dead air.
You get
His stream is full of dead air. He doesn't even talk to the fucking.
You get burned out as fuck on video games, and it's like that's why like RedSec for me is so easy to stream because
Yeah, but no one tells DSP to stream 6 days a week, 2 streams a day. If he streamed once a day and did it for 4 or 5 days a week, he'd probably be better off. But he don't want to do that because he don't have a family life. The whole boy, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit around with your morbidly obese wife and shit and just do what? Listen to African music and shit so you guys can both indulge in your fucking fantasies of BBC? The fuck? Like DSP don't want to be around her and she don't want to be around him, and that's his fate. He knows that shit. Why is it that he invests so much money, quote unquote, in himself and in the office or the studio or whatever the fuck he calls it these days? And yet he's not doing that in her. Why isn't Cat on Ozempic? Why doesn't Cat have a gym membership? Why isn't Cat on his alleged elliptical or his treadmill or whatever the fuck he supposedly uses or whatever? Why isn't she using any of those things? It makes you think.
actually enjoy it, and I get to talk to other people. So it's like I don't.
And that in DSP needs the negativity. Like I think DSP is online at this point just out of spite. It's all about spite at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because DSP tells you, oh, I'm the master of my own destiny. I'm only going to leave the internet when I'm ready to leave the internet, so on and so forth. But every day he's not on the internet, it's one less day that he doesn't have control over the narrative or what he perceives to be control over the narrative. And I think that scares him. I think it scares him to death. I find that amusing.
I have to pull the entire wagon myself.
I mean, I'm sure he gets burned out on video games, but it's like
He gets burned out at being bad at video games.
I'd rather be burned out playing video games than burned out at the job I'm working right now.
They quit
Like
your job.
Well, here's the thing. I think the concept or the idea of playing video games for a living is it turned into what everybody thought it was going to turn into. Well, not everybody. What the OGs told me that it would eventually turn into. Just like how streaming is. It just becomes, it's just the modern day 9 to 5. That's all it is. Same thing with streaming. Like you'll love streaming at first. You know what I'm saying? Because at first you're doing it, it's brand new. You got the interactions, you're talking to different people, you're getting in different opinions. Then the money comes in. Then the money starts flowing in, the money starts treating you really good, this, that, and the third. Then you kind of start to become dependent on the money, or you start to become dependent on the interactions, I'm sorry. And then that leads into a whole nother problem in itself. So think about it this way. Let's say that you were someone who streamed to nobody for years, and then all of a sudden you end up streaming, and now you have this huge demographic of people, right? They say you're great, they give you all this praise, they throw all this money at you, so on and so forth, right? What are you willing to do to keep that once that shit starts to slip? I want you to really think about that for a minute. Imagine all, like, you know what I'm saying? Once you've had a taste of something like that, that treats you really well, after a while, the appreciation starts to become into entitlement. You know what I'm saying? And once that shit starts to slip, what are you willing to do to keep that? I want you to really think about that. And that just doesn't apply to lolcows. That can apply to anybody. What are you willing to do to keep it at that point? How far are you willing to go? Who are you willing to crush to make sure you have what you have, or you can hold on to what you have, and you don't go back to having a streaming to nobody? Because that's the biggest fear any streamer has. That's probably the biggest fear that any content creator has, putting out a video and no one watches it. So what would you be willing to do to keep that? Who for thought?
No, we're not right now. I
just quit, dude.
But it's like
Not right now. It's just not practical. You know what I'm saying? It's not practical. If you're going to play video games for a living, well, for one, you should come to the terms that you're not going to do it for a living. You're not going to do it for a living. Do it part-time and whatnot. And when if any success does come through, understand that it's fleeting. So appreciate it and appreciate the people that you have and the contacts that you can make and everything while you have it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people like Burnt Peanut, he kind of, I'll use him as my example. And only because because he did something recently that I want to comment on. Not everybody's made like that. You know what I'm saying? He went against the grain and whatnot, and he has multiple communities that hate him, but he's entertaining enough that it overshadows that. Now, as it pertains to Burnt Peanut, if I can find the tweet, I'll insert it in here. Burnt Peanut ended up coming back and apologizing over his comments about quitting Arc Raiders because of the not trolls. Well, they're trolls, but over the hackers, right? And, you know, he says he loves the game and he was just really frustrated in the moment, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a GTG in post and whatnot, because I didn't want to send this to Diggs because this is a quick fix on my end. So I went to find the Burnt Peanut response, which I found it. I thought initially he actually spoke about it on stream. Instead, he actually did a post. So let me actually go ahead and show you initially what Burnt Peanut said, and then I'll read the post, and then it'll be right back to it.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna make a formal thing. Inbox, fix this, or like I'm fucking out of here. Holy shit, I'm actually out of here. Give us something, or I'm actually out of here. This is ridiculous.
Dude, yeah, the cheating problem has been fucking insane, man.
If those guys are not IP banned from this game, I genuinely don't think I'm gonna play it. I don't think I'm gonna play it.
Okay, so in context, they ran into 3 cheaters that was pretty much on their bumper for the majority of the time that they were playing. He got super frustrated about it. He put the word out that, like, hey, if this shit doesn't get fixed, I'm not interested in playing anymore. You know what I'm saying? Someone needs to do something to change this up. And right now, I'll follow it up with the post. All right, so let's see here. Let's bring up the post. Okay, so this is from Burnt Peanut. All right, hey gang, I was heated at that moment because the same 3 cheaters had been following us for a long time without getting banned, which is pretty reasonable thing to be pissed off about. In reality, I love @Arc Raiders games, and I know that the Embark Studios team is incredibly passionate about it and are working hard to continue making it great. Now, granted, I want to say it was either Nick Merckx or Tim the Tatman had basically said that they didn't know what the fuck that they were doing. Like, yeah, they made a great game, but they really don't know what the fuck you're doing. If I can actually find that tweet, or the audio, the video for it, actually, to be honest with you, I'll see if I can insert that in. You guys see what I'm talking about. Holy shit. And this is something that's shared by a lot of them. They made an amazing game, but the cheating problem is getting out of control. Anyway, I do believe there is a cheating problem, especially when the same accounts are able to hack for a long time with no repercussions. And I also believe something has to be done about it quick. I don't like how I said it on stream, and that's why I made a post. Now, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, my thought process is someone got to him. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like I said, he's a big ambassador for the game. I don't know if he's sponsored or anything like that, but he's crucial. He's crucial and whatnot. And like I said, he says a lot of wild ass shit on stream, and he don't go up there and make posts or tweets or anything to apologize for it. So that's my initial thoughts. All right, so let me go ahead and run and see if I can find that Nick Merckx or Tim the Tatman or both. Let me see if I can go and find that tweet, and then I'll bring you guys right back to your regularly scheduled program. All right, we're back. I had to run to Jake Lucky's Twitter, and I ended up finding it. All right, here you go.
Yeah, you saw it. That's my goal
People
right there.
were able, they can still do that, Nick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the console. Can you see the console?
They can still do it.
That's great.
Because the game looked mad different.
Hutch, the more we play this game, the more we're all just understanding that these devs don't know what they're doing. They did a great job making a great game, but all the little bells and whistles, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't live it yet.
They're talking about some of the exploits and whatnot, and that the game has. It's a mess. It's fun though, but it's a mess. Anywho, thank you for coming to my future TED Talk, and right back to your regularly scheduled program. Back to me in the past. Whatever. Interesting theory. The theory is that someone called Peanut's agent, because he has one, and they were like, hey, so on and so forth. We get his frustration, this, that, and third. He needs to ease that shit back. Because if people start losing faith in the game and whatever, we start losing money, so on and so forth. And then whatever. Now, I don't know that he has a sponsored deal with the company that makes Arc Raiders, because I think the people who make Arc Raiders made the finals. I don't know if he has a deal with that company or not, or whatever, but I bet you his agency does. So that right there may be a situation. Maybe there's a conversation behind the scenes with him, say, hey, we're working on it, this, that, and the third. Maybe some money changed hands and whatnot. Peanut butter, some rich and creamy peanut butter, some peanut oil. I don't know. Maybe there's some empty shells left on his pillow as a warning and shit. Who gives a fuck? But the point is someone said something to somebody else and was like, hey, we're working on it, ease up. Because Burnt Peanut is one of the largest avatars for the game. And if he starts to lose faith in it, then other content creators will too. So, and you kind of hate to see it, because he's in a position where he can force some change. Because that's the reason why a lot of people don't want to play it. Ninja had said that shit. Nick Merckx had commented on it. There's a bunch of guys who have said that they're tired of the hacker problem in that game. But Burnt Peanut, despite how big all of those other content creators are, he's the one with the most juice or oil, whatever, at the moment. If he falls back, that's a problem. And someone went ahead and got to him, and now he ain't changed his tune. Is that business? Is that him being a shield? Is that whatever? Make of that what you will. I can't say that I'm disappointed, because I can't be disappointed by anything these people do. But it is what it is.
I think anybody would rather play video games than do the job that they have.
Depends on the job that you have, or the career that you're in, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Video games are great and whatnot, but would I want to do that every single day? You know what I'm saying? I can see myself talking about gaming news every single day. There's always something to bitch about, which is why I'm just going to end up commandeering that DSPN thing from Phil, because he didn't know what he was doing with it anyway and whatnot. So he was using it wrong. So I'll go ahead and do him a favor by taking that off his hands. But it has to be about the game, and it has to be about the entertainment value, and it has to be about the ambiance and the atmosphere that you bring to the people and the people bring to you. If you start getting concerned with money and you're not making enough per stream or whatever, that stress is just going to translate to the stream, bro, or to the content itself. And once that happens, people will pick up on it. And once people pick up on it, then it won't be long for people to suss out what this is. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about that. Like when you see Burnt Peanut, he just talked about it recently about like he does like a stream for sponsors and whatever, and then he does his actual stream. It's a really smart concept that I never thought about, but I'm sure people do. And you get the idea. So hey, we're doing a sponsor stream for this game for the first hour or two of the stream, and then we get into, you know, the actual stream itself, Arc Raiders or whatever. And that's how we're gonna play the night out. And it makes sense. So you understand, and you understand because he is because he's front face about it, in that, hey, this is how this is going to pay the bills, and then we get to the real shit. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be fun all around. So if you guys don't want to, you know, show up for this part, that's why he does the sponsor streams first. The real show, if you will, so to speak, is going to be later on down the line. It'll be, you know, it'll be a few hours later, so you guys know when to show up. With honesty like that, you can't really fault them.
Here's the thing, man. Like, your job could be getting your dick sucked, and eventually your dick gets sore.
If that's what you're doing for a living, though, I mean, don't you theoretically choose when to do that? I mean, I don't know. It depends. Of course, he was going to go to porn, but then again, I mean, male porn stars don't make nearly as much as female porn stars, and you more than likely, as a male porn star, would have to work. You would have to probably shoot more scenes in a day than a female would. So there's that. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing for another day, I guess.
Like, if you do any one singular thing in repetition,
I mean, he can move on and find a new job. Like, nobody's holding a gun to his head. He can find a new job.
Not necessarily. And I get what Wings is saying, so I'm being a bit facetious with this. But I get what Wings is saying. But here's the thing. DSP says that he plays a variety of games, so he's not bored and he's not, you know, disengaged from the content or whatever. The thing is if you're bad at everything, then it doesn't matter what game you're playing. If you're bad at everything, you're just bad at everything. And then DSP sits there and says, oh, well, I really like this game and I really love this game, but people aren't receptive to it and they're not willing to pay me to play it. So I can't play it. I got to play what people want me to play. But the reality is no one really wants to pay him to do anything. They just want him to do something. And fucking DSP's dumbass hasn't figured that shit out yet. And more importantly than that, DSP is not even trying to appeal to the audience that he has. He's appealing to detractors, trolls, haters, critics, and to normies. That's who he really wants to buy in on the content. And he can't do it. And he can't figure it out.
Uses to, though.
No. What you're saying is not true. Kabali, thank you for the 20 pounds, dude. And the reason,
don't need
the reason I say what you say is not true is because Phil is in the same boat I'm in. Whereas, like, if Phil went out to get a job, let's say Phil decided to go work at, I don't know, Kroger with his wife or whatever she works at, right? All it would take is one person to be like, are you Darksydephil? I love your stuff, blah, 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 blah. And that person goes and tells people, I seen Darksydephil working at Kroger. He's fired that day. That will happen. That will happen anywhere he goes. Phil is shackled to the dream he searched for.
That wasn't. Well, see, here's the thing. This isn't the dream, though. Like, I get. That's actually telling about Wings. Now that I think about it, I might have to turn this into a whole separate video. But this isn't the dream that DSP wanted. To be honest with you, what DSP always wanted was to be where Justin, where Max, where IFC Yipes, where Seth Killian, where those guys are, where they're somehow in some way connected to fighting games or to the FGC, whether working for Capcom or just being an ambassador somewhere. That's what he kind of always wanted. He wanted to do that. This right here was another addiction, to be honest with you, because that's what it is. He's addicted to the FGC and to the community at large. That's why he's so mad. And that's why he takes such an offense to them rejecting him, right? Like, because he's far more invested than most of them are, even though they were able to take this side thing, this hobby, and actually turn it into something. Like, Justin works for a company that actually deals with games. Max has a shitload of fucking connections with games, with game companies throughout the industry. A lot of the big name guys in the FGC have some type of connection with Capcom or some type of gaming company or whatever. DSP doesn't have any of that. You know what I'm saying? And anything that DSP would probably be willing to do anything that kept him close to that community, but they reject him. I don't think DSP really wants to stream. I think he hates it. I think he only does YouTube because it was an easy job and it paid incredibly well to do nothing except for spam the system with slop. Streaming is far more abrasive. He has less control of the situation, and which means less opportunities to control the narrative. And then he doesn't like people, to be honest with you. Not because he believes he's above them, it's because none of them understand him. Because they don't have an equal ground, or a common ground, I should say, to bring a level of equilibrium between the two of them. And that's why he's so staunchly on this concept of him being a gamer, despite the fact that he isn't one. He cares about fighting games, and he doesn't even care about that. He cares about Street Fighter, Super Turbo in particular, and that's it, because it's the only damn thing that he believes he's ever been good at. Doesn't give a shit about anything else. And he knows that no one else gives a shit about anything else that he does. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Now, I do agree with Wings that if DSP went to get a job, if he went to get like an entry-level job somewhere, yeah, he's going to get sussed the fuck out. If he was able to get an office job, as long as he keeps his motherfucking mouth shut, it is what it is. And it would, not to say they couldn't find him, because eventually they'll find him. But it depends on how he plays his cards. But this isn't a dream. Trust me. Or this isn't the dream that, for Wings it might have been, but not for DSP. This isn't a dream. At all. Because if it was, he would treat it with the respect it deserves. He would care for it, and he would care for it more. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be far more diligent with it. He's regimented. He's regimented to get up, stream at such and such time, take a break, and leave at such and such time. He's an NPC. It's not love. That's not love.
Is in the same boat I'm in. Whereas, like, if Phil went out to get a job, let's say Phil decided to go work at, I don't know, Kroger with his wife or whatever she works at, right? All it would take is one person to be like, "Are you Darksydephil? I love your stuff, blah, 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 blah." And that person goes and tells people, "I seen Darksydephil working at Kroger." He's fired that day. That will happen. That will happen anywhere he goes. Phil is shackled to the dream he searched for. He can't go anywhere. This is it for him. I'm in the same boat.
But remember what Phil says.
God damn, that's depressing. God damn, that's depressing.
He's successful. No one dictates what he does in his life.
Everything in his life is dictated. When you're sitting there saying, "I can't play games because people won't pay me to play them, so I have to play the games that people are willing to pay me for," that in itself is control.
He is the master of his own destiny.
He ain't the master of shit. He's going to be always under somebody else's thumb, whether at a 9 to 5 or online. End of story. He'll never know any true success. He'll never know any true peace. He'll never know any true success. He is what he is. He's a serf. You know what I'm saying? And the mind's already starting to give out, which is one of the big things about this whole fucking nuclear stream bullshit. It just shows you how mentally unhinged he is. In a more disturbing way than I think we actually give credit to. And I don't know if that's amusing or if it's astounding. I'm not sure. Because DSP's broken, obviously. I don't know if I get for myself. I can only speak for myself. I don't know if I've given enough respect to how broken he is mentally. And it shows.
That he doesn't have to pander to sissy bitches on the internet, because he makes his goals and he plays the games and he has a positive, fun time every on one of his streams.
Now, here's the positivity and fun, right? The only reason Phil isn't more desperate than he is now is because he's sitting there waiting on his parents to die.
True.
He's sitting there counting the days until he gets his inheritance. And that's going to make everything in his life better. If he had to worry about, like, what his retirement looked like, what happens if his wife gets sick, he would change how he deals with people, how he looks at opportunities, and how he chooses to spend his money.
Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like, I think because I think in a financial crisis like that, after mommy and daddy's gone, He's just going to resort back to what he's known for doing. He'll beg. He'll pull out all the stops. If Cat got gravely sick tomorrow, he would beg his parents for help, but he would still beg to the internet. He'd let all that shit go. It wouldn't matter if Duty put 10 videos out, 20 videos out, 100 videos out. He would do it in the idea, DSP would still do it in the idea of the internet provides, because it always has. And why is that, class? Because what is rewarded is repeated.
You know, I don't think you even know what this is, but the Kino Casino did like a DSP movie a few months ago.
Where are we going?
Oh, probably gonna Linden Oil Works.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I'll go over this later though in its entirety, but that basically gives Wings as part of it. And like I said, I'll insert some LTG stuff in here. Interesting perspective on Wings' part. I'll give him that. It's a thing. His defense or his running defense for Phil is still kind of baffling, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's him still trying to establish a connection with Phil or what, but it's still rather baffling. Anyway, so yeah, so like I said, I'll throw some stuff in there with the LTG response, and then there's Wings' basically hot take on the whole situation as it pertains to LTG too, by the way. In closing, LTG himself recognized how much control he has over DSP, in the fact that, you know, hey, I talked about this, you ran out and got all these Hawaiian shirts, and you went ahead and changed your whole manner of dress and everything. And LTG is like, hey, I didn't ask you to do all that. I just said you should present yourself in a better sort of way. He brought up some interesting points. But I think the overall of the fucking nuclear stream or his content nuke or whatever was really him just lashing out at fucking Wings and LTG. That's really what it came down to. It was basically senpai notice me, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever, while at the same time ducking the responsibilities that he has around him. You know what I'm saying? Because what's he gonna say? You know what I mean? What's he gonna say? Like, wow, your mom sounds really bad, bro. Like, you know, maybe you should go out there and see her and shit. You know, is everything all right about that? You know, hey, you know, Kino Casino's talking shit about you for like 4.5, 5 hours, and they made some great points. You're gonna address any of that? Which in that, why don't DSP, maybe not the Linda video, I can understand him not wanting to react to that, but why don't he react to the Kino Casino stream? Do that shit. You know what I'm saying? See if he can deal with that. He can't. He can't deal with it. That shit hurts too damn much. It really do. And I honestly think this. I think that DSP misses Kino Casino. I honestly think he misses Andy and PPP. He really, really does. He really does. I think he honestly misses those guys. And I think also he likes the idea, or he misses the idea, I should say, of being on, for the first time, probably ever, really, so to speak, him being on the right side of the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, where he's not the hunted, he's the hunter, or he's at least chilling with the hunters, if you will. I think he misses that. And I think he's very dejected at the fact that it didn't work, because he let his ego and his fucking mouth get the best of him. You know what I mean? He could have just played ball with what Kino Casino was doing, and he'd still be riding that wave. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give a fuck about the people who didn't like the content or didn't agree with what he was doing. He disregarded them anyway. He said that, hey, I needed to do it so we could get past it, or whatever the fuck. So why would this be any different? But whatever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all I have for right now. Like I said, there's still part 3 and whatnot, and we'll get to that, and then we'll close up shop on it. But just hopefully you just think about some of the things that I said throughout this and whatnot. Like I said, I'll insert some of the LTG stuff in here just to give you some stuff that I feel that's amusing, and eventually I'll just go over all of it. There'll be a Snort report for all of this, or so a few Snort reports, I should say. So look out for that. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, Bacon Bites, styled with a Y. And take care of yourselves, people. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. Later. Okay, so this is GTG in post. I have two segments that I'm actually going to bring you. One was really just going over the LowTierGod DMs, and when I forgot to do that through the initial part. I had the dip halfway through the recording, then I came back. So we're going to go over that. But before that, actually, I have something else that I want to talk to you guys about briefly. So you remember how I said that DSP has been kind of chasing after LTG since like 2016, and I still think I'm right about that. But if we're talking about 30th anniversary collection, that was 2018 actually. It was April of 2018. Well, sorry, yeah, it was April 2018 roughly. Actually, he went after LTG in May. He went after Kenny Omega in April. So here, let me actually bring this up, and then this way I can kind of clear that up. I haven't found the 2016, but I know he's been chasing after LTG since 2016. I know for sure. But as it pertains to trying to be kind of cordial about it and wanting to play him, it was 2018. So let me show you how the whole situation started off. So initially started off with Kenny Omega wishing happy birthday to Final Fight, and then as you know, Kenny Omega was very big in the Street Fighter 5 anniversary edition, as in the promotion of it. Same thing with Street Fighter 6. So he was just kind of showing his love and respect for that. And then DSP, being the clout goblin he is, decided to slide in under his post and say, "Hey Kenny, will you be getting Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection? It's one of the biggest releases of the year for me. I'd love to run some sets with you in any game, knowing that you are a longtime player / fan like me." Sounds like fucking something Derek would have fucking put out there. But anyway, this was April 18th of 2018. And Kenny Omega initially said, yeah, maybe, sure, we'll see, whatever. Some good Samaritans came in under that post and be like, yo, that's Darksydephil, yada, yada, yada. You shouldn't do that. That's a bad move. And he said, he just said he was just kind of, anything for the fans, whatever. He doesn't even know if he would actually be able to. He was just kind of being cordial about it. So that essentially squashed that shit. But then DSP goes to the backup plan. I'm saying 1 month later, a little bit over a month later, this is when the tweet that I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with, where he challenges, LowTierGod. So let's see here. This is May 31st of 2018. I respectfully challenge at LowTierGod the online combat is Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, PS4. No drama. No insults, just fun. Super Turbo and Third Strike, I will probably win the former and he'll win the latter, which is true because he fucking LowTierGod is never even, well, he's playing Super Turbo, but he doesn't play Super Turbo. And let's see here. Then and Hyper Fighting and then Alpha 3 if he would like. And then that was the end of that. I don't even know if LTG actually even responded to this. Actually, he did. He did, because that's what led to the Viscant video after a few weeks, because DSP was super salty. I did a video on all this, but I may have to revisit that. But yeah, DSP got super salty that he didn't respond back to him, and then LTG made the video on his main channel, the original one, that why he wouldn't play DSP over the Viscant situation and the Tosh.0 deal and everything like that. So there you go there. But that Twitter account, as you see up there, that shit's gone. That shit doesn't even exist anymore. That shit got taken down. You had to make a new one. So womp 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 to that. All right. So so I just wanted to clear that up. But like I said, I'm confident that DSP has been trying to get a match in with LTG since like 2016. I'll keep searching for the post. I'm sure it's on Twitter somewhere and whatnot, or he said it in a video, but I'm pretty confident he's been trying to play LTG since 2016. All right, so without that,
DSP has done nothing, and I mean nothing.
We're gonna go into LowTierGod talking about the DMs. We're only gonna tackle that, and then that's it. Where I'm actually using the LTG video because I do not know where the chicken legs video, which is what I would prefer to have used, I don't know where that one is currently. And I'm on a bit of a time crunch with this. So we'll just go ahead and go to the source and whatever and get it done, because that's how we do. But yeah, so he's gonna talk about the DMs. That's the part that we really care about, because it's the one part that I chose to wait on, and we'll move from there.
Nothing iconic. Nobody knows who the fuck this guy is unless you was playing an arcade Street Fighter 2 as a full-grown man. As soon as I said something about his stream setup, the guy went straight up to Toys R Us and just started grabbing all types of toys, stuffed animals, lights, ding-dongs, ducats, all types of electronics just to spice his backyard up. You know, the back.
He's not necessarily wrong with that either, given that DSP is going to be working on it's a Super Mario World Lego set. He's starting to work on that shit again and whatnot, and that kind of only came up. Well, he spoke about it before the nuclear fucking stream, or dropping the nuke, but now he's almost hell bent on doing it now. It's pretty funny.
Of his stream. As soon as I said something about his attire, every stream was a fucking Hawaiian shirt. Chat, the guy said Jiffy Lube. How do you spend your whole...
The Jiffy Lube line was funny too, because if you bought a car and you bought it from a dealership and the dealership offers you, I don't know, Phil, maybe in a fucking customer care package and shit like that, free oil change, well, not free because you're paying for it, but the oil changes, tire rotations, you know, like what you had with the BMW, maybe he has that too, but he actually uses it. He doesn't need the dealership to call him and be like, hey, you need to come in and get an oil change and we need to rotate your tires and everything. Maybe he's just a grown-ass man and he can do it. And I don't think anybody's brought this up yet, but that's what I think. That's why I think that DSP talked about Jiffy Lube. Well, one, he didn't have that option with his used car. Or if he did, it's been expired by now. But two, he didn't want to draw any attention to the meme of DSP paying $400 a month for his rented or his leased BMW, and then paid for that fucking extended care package, and then never used the damn thing like that. So sorry that LTG is just a little bit smarter than the average fucking pig roach. Sucks to suck.
Life is a complete cornball. How do you spend your whole life never being even a percent, even a fraction of a better version of yourself in a complete cornball? All right, chat, we got a reaction here from a squeegee that cannot seem to get off my actual virtual. All right, now this particular person has been riding for years. All right, let me go ahead and upload the DMs real quick, just for, you know, clarification purposes, just for a backlog, dating, everything of this sort you could possibly imagine. Now, showing DMs, I hate to do it, but let's just do it again. Because for some reason...
Yo, yeah, DSP sounds like a sick little monkey in these DMs, boy. I gotta tell you, sick little monkey. Jesus Christ, Phil, leave that man alone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows, Phil, that you're into your chocolate and whatnot, but he's not the brother to give it to you. So I don't know what it is. Leave it alone. You're stalking him at this point.
We got to keep touching this particular topic. And I'm not sure why we have to keep going in this merry-go-round with a guy who literally is obsessed with me for no apparent reason. For some reason, this guy is hyper-focused. I guess he's using it for some sort of clickbait or something like that to try to, some sort of Pee-wee's Playhouse type of weirdo vibes this guy has with me. Yeah, we just go.
I swore I've said that at one time or another. DSP has some type of Pee-wee's Playhouse shit going. Whatever.
Start calling this man Pee-wee Hermit, aka Pee-wee's Playhouse, because this guy's room, it looks like Pee-wee's Playhouse. All right, and we already know what Pee-wee Hermit did, right?
Yeah, when he jerked off in public, which is one of the reasons why, if I did say it, that was another low-key reason why I said it. Good shit though.
We know what ruined his career. Same shit that possibly might ruin that other white guy's career that's on my...
Well, I don't know, man. He came back and blowed, wasn't he? Wasn't he in that Johnny Depp movie Blow? He did all right in that. It just went ahead and killed his little squeaky clean image and whatever. But I mean, Hollywood is full of a bunch of interesting individuals. A lot of degenerates from what I hear.
First, I'm going to start off with the DMs. Then I'm going to... People are asking me to react to some particular things that he had said about me. Now, like I said... Me personally, I don't know this guy's obsession with me. So since I can't think of anything else or any other reason that a grown man would continuously obsess over me while profusely sweating in chairs for multiple hours, because I'm pretty sure he's not a double shower, a triple shower, or a cake on deodorant type of guy. You know, I really can't think of anything outside of him being attracted to me. If I was a crispy, unattractive, or let's just say unattractive, let's not say crispy. If I was a crispy guy that looked like, well, I just said, let's not say crispy, I just did. If I was a guy that looked like Patrick Beverly, I guarantee you 100% that whatever his name is, we like to call him Burt Reynolds. I refuse to say his name. I guarantee you this man would have no quarrels with, let's just call it invisible quarrels with me. I guarantee you that wouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here just for references real quick.
Oh, shit.
All right. Virch, whenever you find the expose of that disgusting, dirty Zach that I DM a long time ago, let me know.
Oh, is he, speaking of which, LTG's been on Turkey Tom's head too. And for a good reason. There's a lot of people on Turkey Tom's head right now. I'm recording this on January 19th, right? So supposedly Null from the farms and somebody else are supposed to be interviewing the girl who allegedly made the allegations. We'll see how that pans out. But Turkey Tom hasn't said much. Smart move, because the original chick who made the allegations, she's talking to Null. A second chick came out of nowhere, and she, I don't know, her story sounds suspect, and it sounds like she's almost competing with the first girl to see who had it worse. I don't know. But yeah, so right now, like I said, Turkey Tom isn't saying anything. It's probably a smart move. Best to keep your mouth shut until some real evidence come out, if he did anything. Some people are like, hey, this is karma. What goes around comes around. He does this to other people, so now it's being done to him. Kind of like with rapey lemurs. Shit. Leaping lemur. Like that situation there, which, you know, and he is what that is. Those of you who know, you know. So anyway, we'll see how that pans out. But LTG did do a video on Turkey Tom, though, basically saying he deserves all that shit. And I was telling him to meet up with me just so we could talk, and he was scared and wild shit. I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna go over it because LTG was petty as fuck in that video. God damn, son. Wait till that boy is convicted before we go ahead and start, you know what I'm saying? Before we start sending all that shit across the bow.
Would love to go over that as well. But anyways, back into this particular Ice Warden. This is how everything started, right? It started back in 2023. Excuse my voice, I got a bunch of mucus. Regardless of my voice, I'm still going to be and sound more masculine than this fucking Burt Reynolds weirdo. So I'm minding my own business, you know, being LowTierGod, because that's what I do. I get a DM from a strange man with a weird mustache that reminds me of Burt Reynolds. Do your research on Burt Reynolds. So he says, I know you'll probably have no interest whatsoever, but my viewers were asking me if I could reach out to you and request a set in Street Fighter 6. You know, I heard you're pretty much focused on mastering JP, while I've been all over the place making variety content for my viewers. I'd be open to it, but I know you turned down any type of matches with me years ago, and I doubt anything has changed. So if so, I'm here really on.
Wait. DSP, you said that he was scared and you knew he couldn't beat him. Where's that energy at? I'm not seeing that shit in any of these DMs. What happened to that energy? Oh, you're such a coward. Just a slimy, dirty, nasty coward. Holy shit.
Waddling, but no big deal if you're not interested at all. Or should I just hold on, chat? Should I just grab my phone? I think I forgot a word. Maybe I should Google it and see what it means real quick, because I'm practicing reading. No, but all right, moving forward. So there was that DM, right? There was that DM. All right, here's another one. Now, mind you, you're not seeing any blue yet because I ignored the guy. All right, so I ignored the guy back in June. Right, I'm not worried about a fucking Burt Reynolds guy. You know what I mean? I'm in a completely different lane. I could give two flying capital fucks, so on and so forth. So here's another message. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I have purposely stayed away from doing any reacting to documentaries or any videos about you or after our conversation last year, because that was, you know, the respectful thing to do after you've asked me to do it. So, I mean, if you ever want to break the internet, let me know. I'd be open to an interview stream, you know, or podcast. Unlike any of these other idiots. We actually have self-respect, and these low-cal fucks have no idea what that means or why it makes us so different. You know, so maybe we should capitalize on that and benefit from it. But I completely respect your avoidance of me because of all the internet drama bullshit too. Just throwing the offer out there. Wish you the best.
When you read these things, but especially when you hear it, it reeks with insincerity. Like, it's incredibly insincere. Like, you can tell that he's trying, I guess, to find some type of commonality between the two of them, but it's very clear that he just wants to use LTG. It's very clear that's what that situation is. It's not a mutual benefit type thing. It's I win, I win, I win. And you being around me is a win for you, I guess. Like, it's nothing more than that. And at least the way I was raised, a good deal benefits both parties. Right? Now, realistically, when you get into the real world, it doesn't actually work that way always. But as best as possible, a mutual deal, a good deal is where both parties can benefit, right? So it is what it is. Nothing is ever really even in life, so to speak. But, if you can get what you can get and then be able to build off what you've gained, then that works out either which way. But that's obviously not something that DSP is accustomed to. No lol cow is, to be honest.
No. Yeah, I'm going to assume this man wrote this late at night, kicked back in his bed, dark all over the place, just like Wolverine laying in bed, missing somebody, because how else could you come up with these heartfelt messages? Just think, like, why would you randomly just think about me? Like, look, it's 4:26 a.m., bro. This is what you're doing?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. That's a prime time to do it and whatnot. Shit, he did that to John for years. I mean, shit, he probably still does.
Ain't the guy married or something like that? You're thinking about a hot, sexy, 6'5", peanut butter complexion, chiseled skin. You know what I'm saying? According to the internet, took a certain type of pill.
But didn't play no sports, man? You're 6'5" and you didn't play no sports? God damn, son.
If you know what I mean. Hairline been intact.
Then again, when you run around with the type of drumsticks that he is, I don't smell no chicken cooking.
The whole time I've been doing this internet shit. And you're thinking about me at 4:26 a.m. We're in completely different lanes. I'm not just a nigga that sits on streaming games. I could cut on a stream and my audience begs me to turn off the video games. You cut on the stream, your audience they're just trying to figure out how to get on your fucking nerves, right? To clickbait you.
True.
We're in completely different lanes, brother. I've been on different platforms. I've eclipsed the video game shit. I got conglomerates following me. I got celebrities liking my shit. I'm in some completely different lanes.
Okay, we're exaggerating a little bit of this, but all right.
You know what I mean? Had conversations with the upper echelon. Like, open up the DMs. You know what I mean? Anyways,
it'd been nice if someone had helped you out with that fucking $7,800 you owe Kick, man. Aiden Ross it would have been cool if he could have done you a favor. Oh, that's right. You tried to reach out to that man and you didn't really hear nothing from him at first. I don't know if he ended up linking up with him later, but I know initially he couldn't get a hold of him.
Let's go ahead and get to the rest of the DMs. Now I'm going to be extra arrogant about this shit for one reason, because I seen a clip where he says something about the arrogance. Now I want you to remember this actually existed before I was LowTierGod. I just always had this bravado. All right. Thank you for the resub. Click back on it. All right. Let me see if I can put this.
You know what? If DSP wasn't such a bitch and just went straight at LTG, no pun intended, but if he just went straight at him and whatnot and gave LTG a reason to respect him, boy, the trash talk in fighting games would be cool. You know what I'm saying? It would, but DSP is such a fucking spineless, worthless, useless little vato. That's the reason why we were at where we're at.
It's in order, all right? Hold on, all right, here's my other responses. This is when I responded in 2023, all right? Let's see, so that's September. This is July, all right? So, all right, all I said was stop clout chasing, bro. If you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost you $5K. This is sad as fuck. Stop mentioning me and upgrade your streams. Godspeed, kept it nice, new age, black, and presentable. I just say, bitch ass nigga, hey, stop clout chasing, bro. If you want to play me in anything, it's going to cost your bitch ass $5K on the shit. Hey, this sad as fuck. Stop mentioning me, bro. And upgrade your streams on game. I literally did it straight up, new age, black style, because that's what I am. right? So he had bugged me again.
So new age blacks don't pay child support? They don't take care of their kids? All right, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Sounds like some of the ignorant old age shit that used to happen. I don't see too much change, to be honest with you.
By saying, hope you're well. Where's that DM? Right? You could go back to one of my older videos on this was the hope you're well shit, right? This was my response to the hope you're well. I said, I'm gonna let you know one thing. Don't you ever in your life talk money to me. You cannot compete with me in any category in life. I promise you. I shit on you in any category, right? In any category you could possibly think of. This desperate attempt to create some beef to clip farm my name is just as pathetic as your whole entire internet presence and demeanor. I shit on you in revenue across the board and have been for years. I do not need your bum ass. You need me. Now stay in that miserable slumber NPC. You are literally a bum to me. Now share this to your poverty ass stream weirdo. Now for context, as soon as I said something about his stream setup, the guy went straight up to Toys R Us and just started grabbing all types of toys, you know, stuffed animals, lights, ding dongs, ducats, all types of electronics just to spice his backyard up, you know, the back of his stream. As soon as I said something about his attire, every goddamn stream was a fucking Hawaiian shirt.
Facts. Or a button down of some type. Yeah. Finding clothes from like a decade ago that he started putting on and shit. That's crazy that a fucking another man who's not your father or not your brother or your not a family member or directly related to you by blood or at least a friend of yours. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? One of your peoples, your homies or something made you do this shit. God damn, son. You would think as much as DSP don't like black people, he'd be able to stand on something. But shit, the first brother that he attracted to tells him to do something, hop right to that bitch. God damn.
I'm like, bro, I didn't say put on Hawaiian shirts. I just said try something a little bit different. The dude started opening up his shirt like.
I think about it, Phil. This cat like D'Angelo, he just passed away. God rest that man's soul. But D'Angelo just passed away. So like, do either one of y'all listen to him? Is it her track or is it your track? Like, what's up with that shit? When you hear Brown Sugar, does that make you feel a certain type? I'm just asking. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure when Kat hears the song Brown Sugar, I'm sure it makes her feel something. But what about you, though, Phil? Because you're a weirdo. I don't know. I just thought I'd ask.
Burt Reynolds with chest hair. I'm like, what is going on, bro? When I said dress a little bit better for your stream, I didn't mean go out straight to Marshalls and purchase infinite Hawaiian shirts. I didn't say Gilligan's Island and shit. I said literally just try a little bit harder. The guy went and just cleaned up Marshall's first rack, size medium, size small.
Facts. Because the shit don't fit right. Holy fuck, I hate to be sided with this motherfucker, but he's not wrong.
All Hawaiian short sleeve button up shirts. All right, but this isn't even a fun part, right? That's just little clarification things. So the guy wrote me again. All right, let's fast forward. 2024. He's writing me again, guys. I told him Godspeed in 2023. He says, "Good move, not responding. I'll leave you alone for now." But seriously, man, man,
I'll leave you alone for now. I mean, unless you plan on spinning the block on him, what's that mean? Boy, it makes you wonder what those Panda Lee DMs or messages look like before, when they first started dating. Fuck, makes you wonder what some of those Catherine fucking DMs man look like. Jesus Christ.
Man, improve your.
And remember, the way DSP does anything is the way he does everything.
Setup. It's embarrassing and it looks like poverty level shit. It's why everyone says you're poor. I didn't even know that they said that. I didn't care about it much or how much money you make at all, but you have a dollar store shit behind you. Like you have dollar store shit behind you and your lighting and webcams suck. Now, before we stop here.
Wait, this is September of 2024. Okay, yeah, so he was just starting his Kino Casino stimulus package at this point. All right.
Burt Reynolds, this camera cost $1,000. Burt Reynolds, this lens is like 500 or so. Matter of fact, let me see. How much is this shit? And we're not even talking money. I'm just.
All right, we might not even need to insert any additional clips into this now. We can just throw this segment in there and that'll cover it up. Because boy, I know I'm hitting my particular time limit on this. I don't think you need any more context of this.
You know, because I don't know what you stream off of, right? Let's see. This is a Sigma. Yeah, this lens is basically $539. So the lens is $539, brand new, $1,000 camera, That's a Sony A66. One of them I got. That's a Sony A66. That's a band. Lens 500. Whole just to look at me is $1,500. Not to mention the monitors. Not to mention the desk. Not to mention anything. Right. So I'm trying to figure out what he said about improving setup when literally my setup costs bands. So I'm trying to figure out like webcam. What year are we in?
DSP can't operate an actual camera though, so and LTG makes kind of like a point because if you think about it, like I'll go to kind of my roots on this, like the Call of Duty community, for example, right? Like Allier was using, you know what I'm saying, a high speed lens camera for his vlogs and shit back in what 2012. I want to tell you is when and whatnot is when he was starting to do that shit or whatnot. He done a bunch of vlogs on it. You can still find them actually, where he did that shit. So Call of Duty guys who were doing vlogs for their videos were running cameras. They weren't using webcams back in those days. They had already moved past that back then. Make of it what you will.
What year are we in where this man still thinks that stream off webcams? Like, I think this guy is still stuck in a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure type timeline because what the fuck is going on?
Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park.
All right. So then he says
Jurassic Gout. Oh, that's funny.
Get a better setup and tell everybody to fuck off and you're good. I legit wish you good luck and the best in the future. I wish you were smart enough to take the free money we could both make together.
Damn, Negro. He said he wished you were smart enough. God damn, son.
What this guy fails to realize is that I don't need Burt Reynolds to make paper. I'm LowTierGod. I could generate revenue off myself. I don't need the collab and shit like that with weirdos and collab with drones. If I'm in a collab, I'm gonna dig in my DMs and really hit up one of the upper echelon top tiers. I could literally just dig into my fucking DMs and be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I don't need to collab with a Burt Reynolds. All right. So let's see, where did it stop? All right, so he hit me up again. November 29th, 2025.
God damn, fucking DSP's persistent, man. Like, leave that man alone. And he pretty much hits him up around the same time each and every year too, damn near.
We could just fast forward. All right, so that's November. Okay, here we go. December, November. So he says, always late, and it's always late at night when he's contacting me. That's what makes it even worse. Like, these DMs are not 12 p.m. They're not midday. Like, this is at night when like men should be like either sleeping, enjoying a show, or f***ing. And the guy literally keeps contacting me. So,
well, yeah, because him and Cat don't get no pay anytime. Shit, I have a theory that he goes out of his way not to do that. Well, especially now and whatnot. So yeah, they're not intimate like that. Phil probably hasn't had the taste or a touch of a woman in many years at this point.
He says, hey, LTG, I hope that you're doing well. Actually, I mean that. Like, I don't care about Street Fighter. That's nonsense, and nobody would ever care. But I'd like to do an interview with you. And
I told y'all. I told you DSP really didn't want to play him. He didn't want none of that smoke because he can't beat him. It's far easier to see if he can just get LTG to talk to him. Because that's really what he wants. He wanted to use the gaming shit, if he could get it, to lead into like a podcast later where they both explain their sides of it and what they were thinking during the gameplay or whatever the fuck, and then have a conversation. But once LTG ain't sat there and shut that shit down by saying he wanted the money, DSP was like, go and get it from your audience, whatever. Then Kino Casino steps in and says, hey, we'll throw the money up and whatever. Then DSP was like, no, he shouldn't be getting paid a bag just to show up. That's bullshit. It's not fair. Then it evolved into, well, whoever the winner is should get the money. It shouldn't just go to him to show up. And I told y'all DSP didn't want to actually play him. He never wanted to play him because he knows he's going to lose. Because any of the old shit doesn't matter to fucking LTG. It literally holds no value. But anything and everything from Third Strike to Street Fighter 6, I think LTG's got. I think he's got him clean. And I think DSP did too. He can go ahead and pull that fucking gouty fucking bravado bullshit over on his fucking soapbox. But in the real world, everybody understands how that plays out. I told you, he just wanted to talk to him. He doesn't actually want to play because he can't beat him. And LTG don't care about the old shit, so there's no leverage there. And anybody in the FGC who's been following LTG for any period of time knows that LTG don't play the old shit, so it doesn't mean nothing. The risk is too high from Third Strike all the way up to Street Fighter 6. LTG takes him out 2 of the 4, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If he beats him in all 4 games, Third Strike, Street Fighter 4, any version of Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6 currently, DSP's washed. No one's gonna give a fuck about the old stuff. Everybody knows he only plays the old shit because he isn't good at the new shit, and he's barely any good at the old shit. I told y'all.
Podcast, no beef, just real talk between 2 of the most stalked guys on the internet for no reason. I have a lot of eyes on me right now because of the GoAT interview, so it would definitely get you good attention. And I know you go through the same shit I do. I don't send me some sort of link I didn't click on or more beef. I apologize for being an asshole to you. Let me know what you honestly think. This is, hey LTG, I hope that you're doing well. Actually, I mean that. Like, I don't care about Street Fighter. That's nonsense, and nobody would ever care. But I'd like to do an interview with you on my podcast. No beef, just real talk between 2 of the most stalked guys on the internet for no reason. I have a lot of eyes on me right now because of the GoAT interview, so it would definitely get you good attention. And I know you go through the same shit I do. I don't send me some sort of link I didn't click on or more beef. I apologize for being an asshole to you. Let me know what you.
Like I said, that's fucking so crazy. That's so crazy. You sit there and apologize. You talk all that shit about LTG, right? And then you apologize in DMs. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because that's what he did with Asmongold. He talked all that shit about Asmongold. Well, he did. He talked all that shit about Asmongold, and then when he finally got Asmongold to read his DM, it had an apology in it. And why was that, ladies and gentlemen? Because fucking A, the way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. So the fact that he ain't try to finesse LTG with this shit doesn't surprise me. I bet you he tried to do this shit to Wings too. You know what I'm saying? And then, what else is it that I tell y'all? What is rewarded is what is rewarded will be repeated. He ain't sat there and apologized to Asmongold in those DMs. Asmongold's like, all right, sure, whatever, I'll talk to you. Even though that had nothing to do with it, because DSP's DM made it into spam. That's the reason why Asmon didn't see it. But he read it, he's like, fine, whatever. He didn't even care about the apology. He didn't give a shit. But whatever. DSP looks at it as, oh, see, I apologize, so that'll get me in. Oh, you can't be. And then what did DSP do? He goes on stream and says, oh, well, see, that's why you can't be nice to people on the internet. You have to be an asshole. That's the only way you can get attention. So he does the same thing with LTG, expecting the same result. Even though he's been chasing after fucking LTG since 2016. He's definitely been trying to get at him since 2018. You saw that in the tweets that I brought up earlier. I'm not surprised that he tried to do this shit. The way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. And he just never learned. Ever. Jesus Christ, bruh. I'm not surprised he was a bitch, though. I'm not surprised at all that he did this. It's pathetic, but it's the type of pathetic I would expect out of Darksydephil. It's the type of pathetic I would expect out of Darksydephil.
I honestly think I won't leak the DM. Well, how are you going to leak a DM that I never responded to? Nigga, you were literally talking to the void. So how the fuck are you gonna leak a DM when I never responded to your ass?
Just like Asmongold. Like I said, that shit was in the fucking in the spam folder deep. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the Yeet account, Asmongold would have never seen it, would have never thought nothing of it, and would have let it go. Would have died in the ether. Jesus Christ. Good shit.
All right. When I see DM message me, I don't even get mad. I just be like, damn, this guy again.
That guy is constantly begging for money. Is he gonna talk to you about making money?
Well, how are you going to leak a DM that I never responded to? Nigga, you were literally talking to the void. So how the fuck are you gonna leak a DM when I never responded to your ass?
That's crazy.
Right? When I see DM message me, I don't even get mad. I just be like, damn, this guy again.
That guy is constantly begging for money. Is he gonna talk to you about making money?
This guy's crazy, man. I'm like, when I see a message from DSP or see him or hear him mentioning me, it's just like, it's like me seeing it's like a bum getting mad at me because I didn't toss him $2 that I didn't have in my wallet. I just be like, man, I don't got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something I really give 2 fucks about. So he hits me up again in December. He says, hey, Delon, happy holidays. Sorry to hear that you got photographed in a Wrath by Thumb R when you were just trying to live your life and have a happy, normal day. This has happened to me multiple times. I just wanted to invite, well, hold on. When has anybody ever got a
And then he's so quick to victimize himself too. DSP is so quick to victimize himself. Like, God damn, son.
Picture of DSP. Oh yeah, also 2:27 a.m. He said, just wanted to invite.
He said what? 2:27? 7 minutes earlier, boy. That shit would have been right on brand.
You to my Christmas marathon one last time, not hostile at all, but for a friendly combo. It's all day on Tuesday, December 23rd, and I get you on via Discord. It's looking like I'll have a good variety of guests, and you to be the perfect one on top of the list. So let me know. Like, I feel like the is just Pee Wee Hermit. Let's get to the good shit. That's all the DMs, mind you. I literally did not respond. I literally just left it on red and just thought nothing of it and just moved on with my life. Now, if we go over to the YouTube side, here, let's see.
All right, and we'll end that there. Holy shit. That there. Oh shit. Oh man, I can't wait to go over that shit in full later, but good God, Phil. Good God, bruh. The apologizing to him in the fucking DMs and shit. The fucking the just repetitive, you know what I'm saying, going back to him the same time, almost around the same time each and every year. God damn, Phil. And like I said, or I've said it before, it's become, I think what was once an obsession has now become DSP's developed a complex. He's developed a complex with him now and whatnot, and he can't let it go. Excuse me. He can't let it go now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is beyond like the Wolverine doll and shit. Like this expands far beyond that. You know what I'm saying? LTG is proving that he's the one toy that he just won't submit. And DSP's try to pull out all the stops and it's not working. It is not working. And think about what Wings is going through. Because you know Wings is getting beat down in those fucking DMs. You know he's been being beat down. Especially since he was already on the show once. And DSP's like, I don't understand. You know, you came on once and we had a good time. Why wouldn't you come back up? Just sick fucking behavior. Anywho, thanks for letting me come in here in post and whatnot. And I'll bring you back to your regularly scheduled program. Oh my gosh. So crazy. Just absolutely insane.